Good morning, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your first video blog of the day for Wednesday, July 8th, 2015, around 7:03 in the morning in Billerica, Massachusetts. Going to be a mix and sun and clouds today, but maybe heavy rain showers. Some of it severe, very humid. Highs in the upper 80s. Some places could reach 90, but Boston's only going to reach about 84, 85 degrees. If it goes one more week for Boston without reaching 90, it will be in the top 5 of the latest dates of the year that Boston reached 90 for the first time. This is the longest it's been for Boston not reaching 90, the longest stretch since 1998. Some news to report: Boston Red Sox beat the Miami Marlins by the score of 4-3 last night. The Lowell Spinners did not play last night, so no score for that. And that's about it on news. My first video subject of the day is my review of the 1992 Great American Bash pay-per-view for WCW, which was held in Albany, Georgia at the Albany Civic Center. The main event was Sting defending the WCW World title against Big Van Vader, and also the NWA World Tag Team Title Tournament. Before the pay-per-view, they had a match, a dark match, just to show for the crowd in Albany, Georgia. It was the Super Invader with 7-time NWA World Champion Harley Race in his corner, beating Marcus Alexander Bagwell. The Super Invader was the late great Hercules Hernandez. And this is what happened at the pay-per-view, which was called by good old JR, Jim Ross, and Jesse the Body Ventura. This was the only time that Jesse the Body Ventura would call a Great American Bash pay-per-view. And hosting it was Tony Schiavone and Magnum TA. And most of this pay-per-view card had the NWA World Tag Team Title Tournament. The first match was a quarterfinal match. It was Nikita Koloff, the Russian Nightmare, and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat facing off against Jushin Thunder Liger and Flying Brian Pillman. Both teams were faces. And it was just Jushin Thunder Liger and Flying Brian being the de facto heels in this match. And it was about 20-minute match, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The ending had Flying Brian going up for the flying cross body block, but Steamboat reversed it and pinned him 1, 2, 3. It was a decent match. Next match was a quarterfinal match for the NWA World Tag Team titles. It was Hiroshi Heish and Shinja Nashimoto facing off against the Fabulous Freebirds, Michael P.S. Hayes and Jimmy Jam Garvin. At the time, Hayes and Garvin were the WCW United States Tag Team Championships, but that title was going to be dropped at the end of the month. And this was a decent match. The ending had Hashi pin Jimmy Jam Garvin, giving the Northern Lights suplex after Amoto kicked Jimmy Jam Garvin. And also he blocked Michael P.S. Hayes from coming in to making the rescue. This was about 9 minutes. It was not a great match in my opinion. The third quarterfinal match for the NWA World Tag Team Tournament was next. It was the Natural, Dustin Rhodes, and Barry Windham facing off against Stunning Steve Austin and Ravishing Rick Rude, the current United States Champion at the time, with Medusa. And this was about a 20-minute match. It was a good match. The ending had Steve Austin trying to go for a top rope powerbomb on the Natural Dustin Rhodes, but Dustin Rhodes reversed it and gave him a clothesline and pinned Stunning Steve for 1, 2, 3. The next match was the first of 2 semifinal matches for the NWA World Tag Team Title Tournament. It was Dr. Death Steve Williams and Terry Bam Bam Gordy, which was the Miracle Violent Connection, but they used that name in Japan, but they did not use the name in WCW, I think because of wrestling being family friendly at the time, and that would not be a good name for a tag team in the United States. And they were facing off against Nikita Koloff and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. This was a 21-minute match, a very great match. Back and forth, back and forth. Ending had Dr. Death beating Steamboat with a clothesline after ramming him into the turnbuckle. The second semifinal match was for the Natural Dustin Rhodes and Barry Windham facing off against Haruki Heish and Shinja Hashimoto. This was about a decent match, about 14 minutes and stuff. Dustin Rhodes wins with the lariat. And the next match was for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. It was the champion Sting facing off against Big Van Vader with Harley Race. It's time! It's time! It's Vader time! This was a feud that started several months back when Vader attacked Sting on an edition of Worldwide Wrestling and stuff. And they were having a lot of house shows. Sting was winning disqualification because of Harley Race's interference and stuff. And this was a decent match and stuff. Lots of moves. Sting tried to get the Scorpion Deathlock on Vader, but he rolled to the ropes. Harley Race interfered a few times. The ending had Vader give Sting the power bomb and pin him 1, 2, 3 to win the WCW World Championship. And this was the first title win for Vader. And the last match was the finals for the NWA World Tag Team Championship. It was Terry Bam Bam Gordy and Dr. Death Steve Williams, who were also the WCW World Tag Team Champions at this time as well. They were going to face off against the Natural Dustin Rhodes and Barry Windham. But before the match, Rick and Scott Steiner came down and they had a stare-off and stuff like that, and several of the WCW suits and referees and officials had to bring the Steiner brothers back. And this was a good match, about 21 minutes and stuff. Dr. Death pinned Dustin Rhodes with I think clothesline to win the match and to win the NWA World Tag Team titles. So Dr. Death Steve Williams and Terry Bam Bam Gordy after this match were two championships, the WCW World Tag Team Championships and the NWA World Tag Team Championships. And that's how the card ended. And this Great American Bash pay-per-view was, an average pay-per-view. This was basically a tag team pay-per-view card, which some of the matches were decent and stuff, but I think you have to have a mix of singles matches and stuff like that. And the Vader Sting match for the WCW World title was the only singles match on the pay-per-view, and that was awesome and stuff. And I would give this card, Great American Bash, an average one, C, which they had some, the world title match was pretty good and stuff like that, and the tag team titles tournament was okay, but that was not really good to have a tag team tournament on the pay-per-view and stuff like that. And this was the last Great American Bash they would have for WCW in 3 years. I think they had to put the Great American Bash brand on hiatus because of it being kind of ruined from 1991 and 1992. And something else replaced it. I think Beach Blast Bash has a beach for the pay-per-view on this card, but the Great American Bash will come back by popular demand in 1995, and that will be reviewed tomorrow. Other video blogs today will be about Sal's Just Pizza. Now that's a slice. And the third and final video blog of the night will be the personality profile of Match Game personalities and panelists. I'm going to start with the females for the second week of it, and it will be the late great Brett Summers. Have a good day, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Like I always say, keep calm, and I'm a Julie Brennan guy, and Ollie Rosenblunt of Fox 35 Orlando Rocks. Goodbye, everybody.